Joanie. Today we're gonna do a little get ready with me, get to know me, because you're probably wondering who the is Joanie. Well, stay tuned to find out. If you see me looking down, it's because all my makeup is set up here. Let's start with the basics. This is gonna be my base. This is Grip Trip by Fenty Beauty, and I usually do get ready for work, but I guess I'm gonna do a little bit more so I can show out for you guys. So I'm originally from San Francisco, California. I grew up in the Bay Area and I came to New York on a one-way flight, which honestly is psychotic when I think about it, but I was so young and I didn't care. I'm gonna start with this hourglass in the shade beige. I'm so pale right now, you guys. So this year is gonna be 10 years in New York, which is crazy to think about, but I really did not wanna be another tech girl in San Francisco. And also I went to school in UC Berkeley, which is 30 minutes away from where my parents lived. And so I just felt very my life was always in one place. So typically, if you see me in California or if you see me in New York, it's because I'm visiting people back and forth. Obviously, I'm based in NYC, but I haven't heard of people talking honestly about how you end up feeling split up when your life is in two places. This is also Fenty. This is the only contour I've ever used for the last 3 to 5 years. So my parents are originally from China and Vietnam. My mom is from China, my dad's from Vietnam. My first language was Cantonese, actually, and English is my second language. However, I was not allowed to speak English until I went to preschool when I was 4, I think. One thing I also want to clear up is the way that my name is spelled. So I'm actually named after Joni Mitchell. She's a melancholy, I think from the 70s or 80s singer, and her name is spelled Joni. This She's That Girl blush, so good. This is the only positive about being a little bit paler right now, is that I can actually use this pink blush and it shows. Okay, so I was a C-section baby. My parents, I don't know that they're necessarily fobs, but obviously they predominantly speak Cantonese. And so the doctor assumed that my mom didn't know how to spell my name, and so he corrected it for her. And now it's spelled Joanie, which I honestly don't mind. I think Joni is so cute and short, and I've thought about changing my name before, but what's the point? Additionally, I think my screen name, Lamborghini, is the most clever thing I've ever come up with, a Lamborghini, you know? Anyway, so let's talk about astrology signs, because I think a lot of people are I don't know what the fuck that means. I care about astrology signs. I am a Gemini sun, Gemini rising, and Libra moon, all air signs. Whatever you've heard about Geminis, they may or may not be true. But I've been described as real knuck if you buck, but soft on the inside, and I think that's completely accurate. I'm a very intellectual person. I want to be small-minded sometimes and just do regular things. But, my personality will never allow me. And my Libra moon is always, I'm constantly either chasing balance of things or trying to feel some sort of justice. I don't know how to explain it, but it's if something feels unfair and it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit well with me. And I'm learning truly how to express myself in a way that is not disrespectful. I feel there is an art to communication, especially when it comes to soft, touchy subjects. And so that's something that we're working on. Another thing about me is that I DIY almost everything. This is Ilia concealer. This is a little bit lighter coverage, but I'm into this right now just because I'm at home and I don't really need super full coverage. Now that I'm in my 30s, makeup sits a lot differently on my face than it used to when I was in my 20s. And so I still love a good face beat, but I have to work with, you know, the skin that I'm in. Back to the DIY. So I basically DIY everything. I do my own nails. It's been 4 years since I've done my own nails. That came out of COVID because none of the nail salons were open. Do my own wax brows, laminate my brows. Sometimes I lash lift myself. Right now I have semi-permanent lashes on, which are honestly super easy. I put them on Sunday afternoon and now it's like a few days later. I also like grew up cutting my own hair. Now my sister is the only person I let touch my hair because she's a hair colorist and she recently got her own chair in San Francisco. So if you ever need your hair done, biased, but I would recommend my sister. When I was in college, I feel like my education was super informed by just like the way that I had like lived my life growing up. I've struggled with mental health before. I used to have chronic migraines to the point where in high school I was literally a truant because I couldn't get out of bed. And I would not wish anyone to like have to go through stuff like that. But that led me into studying psychology as a major in college because I was a first generation student and I thought I was going to do like molecular cell biology, but you know, the public school system failed me. And I was like, am I dumb? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. I couldn't pass chem. Literally so much anxiety. And UC Berkeley was super competitive. I remember people not wanting to share notes with me because they're like, these are my notes and I don't want to share them with you. Because a lot of times they would curve the grades based on like what the average in the class is. So sometimes they would curve it down. Most of the time they would not curve it up. That's like led me into this like lifestyle of self-help, self-care. I'm really into holistic health. What I do now for work is I work in product development. So it's a lot of supply chain. Our tariffs in the past year and a half have been terrible. That's all I have to say about that. But what I do now has nothing to do with what I learned in school. I think I use psych more. This is one size setting powder. I think I use psych more in my personal life and like personal anecdotes more than anything else. Growing up, which this is really embarrassing because now that have grown into myself, this is so like, why didn't I want better for myself? I remember one time, one of my high school best friends, his mom asked me like, oh, Joanie, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be a mom. And she kind of just looked at me like,
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? You rolling your eyes and you act like this because you hurt.
You know what? My mom was a super young mom and she made it look so fun. And so I just like looked up to her. I'm also very like maternal vibes. If you've met me in real life, I'm just like a natural nurturer. This is also pretty personal, but like growing up from my childhood, I don't have that many photos of myself or like video memorabilia, just like maybe a handful of like 10 to 15 pictures. And so it's kind of sad to like think about now that I'm older because I wish I had that to look back on. And so I'm trying to get more into the habit of like creating my own memories, like my own traditions, being able to just like capture things the way that they are. Obviously, it's such a balance because I don't always want to be on my phone. When I'm with people, I just want to feel present. I'm building a new habit that hopefully I can pass on to my kids. This is Sephora Boost and Lock. It's like a 12-hour eyeshadow primer. I used to use Urban Decay primer, but this one's a lot cheaper and it works really well. I'm also super into this Embers palette by Anastasia right now. This is how you know I'm a millennial. I still have this sheet on and the tape on this mirror. Anyway, I usually go for this shade and I really just use my fingers. It's the easiest thing to just blend it out with your fingers. So, okay, more about me. I really think that I was a mermaid in a past life. I'm such a water baby. I'm always dreaming of being in Hawaii. I could be having the worst day, But if you put me in some sand and some sun, I'm good to go. Speaking of vacations, I really am the type of person to work out on vacation. I'm gonna finish off with this Fenty Beauty You Mist. Oh, the spray on this is so good. Like, the particles actually disperse. I hate when a spray is just like on one area and then you feel like you got hit in the eye. We're gonna start off with cork. I'm gonna use MAC Chestnut over top. I love a 90s lip vibe. And this is also MAC in the shade Hug Me. I'm almost done with this, it's so sad. Also, we're releasing ourselves from perfectionism, but I did notice I didn't blend out my nose. So if you notice that, just ignore it, because I wear glasses anyway. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of the morning with me. Stay tuned, feel free to subscribe. If you couldn't tell, I love to yap, so there's much more coming soon. Okay, bye.